Welcome to the Daily Justice. I'm Justice Monster. Please ignore the game I'm playing. And listen to my words. Do not judge me. I swear, do not judge me for fighting me Sasquatch. He's cute Sasquatch.
We did it!
So someone hit the Nord Stream pipeline. I feel bad for the conservatives. I don't feel bad for them. They're getting what they deserve. But all those boomer cons and all those Reaganites and all those dudes for the last 50 years, 40 years, 30 years or whatever, people their whole life just always believe the United States is always up to good. It stands for justice. It's doing the right thing. And now the conservatives, some of them are being like, wait a minute, a lot of this don't add up, and they're having a hard time making connections. They're having a hard time being like, wait a minute, why would Russia blow up their own pipeline? It's like, yeah, why would Russia blow up their pipeline? Especially in part of the ocean that would be hard for them to do any kind of covert option to because it was on the western side. And especially where the U.S. Baltimore was doing war game stuff, was doing training exercises. It blew up exactly where it was at. And so they don't think that these things. They never believe that the United States is an empire. They always think that it's looking out for the European Union and that it's looking out for everyone across this great globe. It wanted to liberate women or whatever. Like, that's true about, like, the men in the military. Like, they use dudes like me who have a heart for the world or that have a heart to help or for justice. They do. They use that story. But I assure you, it's for the dollar. And it's for a handful of rich guys. And you want to know what's in it for someone to attack that pipeline? Well, that means someone else has to get their power. Man, I know probably a few companies that probably do it at a premium. And because there's not that much of circulation, like, man, maybe everyone's gonna have to pay more. Man, that sucks if you're a natural gas supplier. That's real bad. And so when you ask, when something happens like blowing up a pipeline, you're like, well, who stands to benefit? Europe didn't stand to benefit from that. The people of Europe, the German government doesn't have anything to stand for that. Denmark, where it happened at, doesn't have anything to do with that. Like Russia, that's Russia's leverage. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want their own bargaining chip.
What's your chances, do you?
Here goes!
And so, but it's not just that pipeline. There's been so much that conservatives did not realize about the United States. And they want to blame the left. They want to blame the liberal or the left. But the truth is, it was the liberal world order when Reagan was in charge. It was the liberal world order probably since Eisenhower.
We won!
It was the liberal world order, and they never came to terms with liberal world order meant American empire. And from the very beginning of that empire, there was only one rival, and that was the Soviet Union, who also helped take down Hitler and the Empire of Japan. No, I'm gonna give you. I love the United States. I fought for it. I fought for it in the front lines, and I love it. Right? I'm telling you this from a lot of hardship or whatever. But the dudes who rise to power in every country are bad dudes. And the United States is no exception. Right? The problem is that the conservatives thought they had such a great, perfect system that the United States system was designed that it would weed out bad and only good people exist here, and they only go to Vietnam for good intent. They only go to Korea for good intent. They only wanted to stop the communists for good intent. Nah, dude, it was for money. It was for money. And you've already half convinced yourself that doing things for money, hey man, you know, that's cool. But it is cool. But as long as someone's not selling you a dream, telling you they're of the righteous path and that they're altruistic, taking a lot, it's like I got some landlords to tell you that stuff. Like they did you a favor by you letting them pay them rent. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, thank you. I guess thank you for that rock solid, I guess. Conservatives are usually pretty dense. They are optimists, and they are always a bit naive, and so they want to believe. And it's like you really shouldn't be that angry at them for that, you know? Like, you kind of wish we were that city on the shining hill.
We did it!
The problem is that they're going to say right now, they'll be like, well, Joe Biden, and this is Joe Biden, and this is this regime, and this blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, man, it's hard for you to understand, but you can look backwards with the right lens. With the right lens, you can see that it was Reagan. It was George Bush. It was George Bush. It was like, it's all the same. It's the same group. And they got you in this weird thing where they're like, hey man, anytime you almost get out and you can almost see it, they got dudes like Tucker Carlson that pull you back in. They pull you back in. And it's the same with the left too. Like, they corral you with these sheepdogs. Like, you'll break out of your side. You'll be like, oh, these guys aren't actually progressives. Because the conservatives think progressives are enemies. It's like, no, actually progressives are your friends. This is so hard for you to understand. Progressives are your friends. But what you are competing against is some kind of corporate thing masking as a progressive. So you think progressives are bad people. Progressives are just populists. Real progressives are populist leftists trying to make life better for their neighbors and themselves through policy, right? And the populist right wants to be like kind of left alone and or whatever. And these two, they can actually have a conversation and meet somewhere, and they'll agree that the power vacuum in the middle is the problem. But if they ever get to know that, that's the problem. So they have these dudes that won't allow you to escape your center forces. So like Tucker Carlson will round out the libertarians and they drag them back into the right wing. And Don Lemon and CNN, they grow out and they grab the progressive and they go, hey man, if the right get a guy leader, fascism and kind of, and they'll corral the real progressives back into the center corporate party. These two parties aren't different. They shove everyone back into the pro-money, pro-war state. So we never get the country we were promised. We don't get the libertarian paradise, and we don't get the city on the shining hill. We never really get to go there. We don't get to have all our needs met and all the security provided that the progressives would like, so that you don't feel like the world's caving in on you at all times. And you really never get left alone either. So neither side get what they want. And they're both convinced that if they get what they want and they get what they want, then the other side can't have what they want. That's not true. You can't have what you want as long as that center is sucking up all the wealth and power and making all the rules. They want to be at war with Russia so you can sell weapons. And you can jack the price of energy up. And then you can scare people with great resets and do all this. And they don't care how many Germans freeze to death. They don't care how many Ukrainians die on the front line, and they don't care how many Russian soldiers die. And they'll go and they'll look you in the face and they'll say, Vladimir Putin is the evil one. Vladimir Putin may very damn well be evil, but they are the same cold-blooded fucking snake he is. That's been today's Daily Justice Monster. Signing off.